What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Shoe.com,
and we're here for Ready or Not.
Here I come, and I'll find you. Only it's not that song. It's a horror comedy called Ready or Not, in which once a woman enters a family, a gaming dynasty, or a dominion as they like to call it, she has to play a game. The game chosen, hide and seek. The only rule is she has to hide and survive until dawn. What she doesn't know is the entire family is trying to kill her for a satanic ritual. Looks like all sorts of kind of thing you want in a movie on a Friday night, or a Thursday night in this case. But I don't know, movies like this could go really, really wrong. Movies like this could go really, really right. Happy Death Day comes to mind. But I've also seen plenty of horror films that I probably have just forgotten their names of that have been not so great. Any thoughts on this? I know you're gonna go see something else.
I just saw this trailer actually maybe nothing more than a few weeks ago.
That's fair.
I feel like they didn't even promote it, but I am absolutely gonna watch this regardless of what your review says. I'm gonna watch Gerard Butler's Angel Has Fallen.
Fair.
Which you're also gonna be able to see the review for that right now. But until then, do I need to make time and watch this weekend?
Yes, absolutely. I thought it was a blast. You know, it's very rare where you could kind of, I mean, is opposing sides as comedy and horror really feel? They're so also close together, because in a horror film you have to kind of really walk this line where you're still believable and not ridiculous and silly, and then in comedy you have to kind of really walk this line of always being ahead of the audience, or then you're just kind of a dud for a comedy. This movie manages to really kind of put together those horror elements and put them over just enough, and just kind of make them over the top just enough in order to make them kind of this really fun experience where you never feel like they're in on the joke with you, because the whole thing is that you're watching this and our characters are reacting in a very funny and way more loose way than of course they would in real life situations, so it's easier to kind of joke and kid. But usually in these movies it's kind of this wink wink between characters and the audience, where in this case it was really just all kind of us laughing at all these things that are unfolding. It almost feels like a game of Clue, you know, we're in a big mansion, there are all these different characters really out. There's this one, an aunt character, a great aunt who's very just mean and looks like she's just ready for you.
In the trailer she just looks mean.
Yeah, and she's like that the entire movie.
Like right before they're about to get married, you
There's
know?
like the Morticia and Gomez type characters where they're like very suave, but the kind of the heads of the household, and there's this doofus son-in-law. I mean, there are all these character checkpoints that you would expect in like Vacation, right? Like in a vacation movie where you have all the crazy aunt, the doofus son-in-law, all these characters. But you put them in this really weird kind of setup where they all just unfortunately were passed down this tradition where they have to do this horrible thing, and it's just they all kind of deal with it in their own way. And I think it is one of those movies where, you know, I don't really like these complaints, but everything good or everything that you kind of enjoy is really in the trailer. Like this movie really shows you a lot in the trailer, and there's of course some good things that aren't, but they definitely highlight some like the best moments, I think. Not a bad thing though, because the moments that are filled in are all good as well. The heroine of this movie is so great. You know, I brought up Happy Death Day earlier, and it reminds me of her because, you know, that character just had to deal with these circumstances, and she just stuck her chin up, was a strong woman. She didn't need all these other things. We didn't need to, you know, shoe in a song about her being an independent woman. We got it. And in this movie, there's a couple really great classic 90s moments. You know, in the 90s, or even in the 80s, and of course, obviously being infamous in Taxi Driver, when a character has kind of made that final change, what do? They go in the mirror and they shave their head. They make this huge physical change in order to show the audience that they have beaten their former past point. Booming here at AMC Town Square, so this is where you gotta be on a Thursday night.
By the way.
In this movie, she's like shredding bits and pieces of her wedding dress throughout the movie, and she's just kind of becoming more mobile and more ready to kick ass and take names. And I think that's where the movie's really fun. I think there's a lot to laugh at, there's a lot of goofy characters, there's a lot of outrageous scenarios. I mean, we are talking about a satanic ritual that deals with board games, well in this case hide and seek, but
sounds like your family.
Yeah, it's very silly, very fun, and very clever too. I think there's a lot of moments in the movie where you just go, oh, that's pretty cheeky, or they did that in a very fun way. Also, I thought it was kind of unpredictable because they make those wacky characters quite full. There are 3 or 4 characters where you're like, oh, maybe this character will do this, maybe this character will do that. How is all this going to work and intervene? they kind of build them up, so you really are at the end, you're like, all these different things can happen, and yet they use them all to their advantage to tell a very fun story. Overall, I think it's some good laughs. I think it's a good time. I think it's a fun date night movie. I think it's a good weekend movie if you have nothing else to do. I don't think it's gonna be on the top 10 list or anything, but I'm not mad that I watched it for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
You see a sequel?
I hope not, just because like I just don't know why. I think part of it is just kind of like this one character was thrown into this insane world, just like the audience is, but you buy it, you kind of roll with it. They don't go into like a deep explanation or like this history.
No need.
No, because you just got to buy it. And I think that character's reaction and what ends up happening, you just kind of have to go, huh. And just kind of laugh. But you never know in Hollywood.
Was the ending predictable for you?
Once I kind of got to this one point, I knew exactly where we were gonna go. But there are some genuine moments where you're like, well, I wonder which character, because you're assuming one of these characters might help. Will one character turn? There's all these questions that are kind of happening, and for a moment, you're really not sure who's on whose side. So it is fun in that regard.
I don't know if it's a good comparison, but this movie reminds me a little bit about Rian Johnson's Knives Out, the murder mystery. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, it does have that kind of murder mystery feel, but, I mean, what you experience in the trailer is really what you're getting. You're getting kind of this little wacky, silly kind of cat and mouse game, but I didn't realize how awesome they were gonna kind of make her character and how much fun it is being with her on this. There's some really great, moments of, again, they just got to figure out how to kind of push those boundaries, and how do you take something like a satanic cult or a blood-driven family and make that comedic, and they do that in some really creative ways.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Chasen's review for Ready or Not.
But if you are ready or not, we're gonna hear what Mr. Shu has to say about that new installment in the Has Fallen trilogy.
Yes.
Because now Angel has fallen.
Yes. It's already
Check out that
available.
review.
Click it right now, and then that way you can determine what are you gonna watch this weekend.
Always be sure.
Because you gotta watch something.
Always gotta watch something. Join us here at AMC Town Square next week at 10 o'clock. It's gonna be a blast. Mr. James Shu, Texas Guy for Tickets, 702-345-618. Or comment below.
What do we got?
We have, don't tell me, I know this. I don't know what it is next week. But that's okay, because whatever it is, it's gonna be a blast. And it is, well, it is August. Okay, so pretty much our big release is going to be Don't Let Go, the kind of thriller in which David Oyelowo realizes that his this thriller that has to do with time travel and all that stuff. It looks like it's going to be a good time.
And that's
I think that's going to be it for next week. Again, we are in the midst of August, but don't worry, guys, because the week after that, which happens to be Chasing Cinema's birthday, Chapter 2. We're going back 27, 23, 20, 27?
Or we're going forward.
24, 27. 27 years to see what Pennywise is up to. So make sure to reserve your tickets for that, because those are going to really go fast. We're going to have a big crowd for that. That's a horror movie that everyone's dying to see. So be prepared for that. Either way, make sure to watch a movie, because it's going to be a good time.
Have some good times.
Good laughs.
Check out youtube.com/grubbistry.
We got stuff coming.
If you want.
You guys ain't ready.
Chasing Cinema Comes
Film Lovers website.